A few things that make Steph Curry special, Woj. Number one, he's a 30-plus point per game scorer, and he's not ball dominant. Usually that guy takes a lot of shots. The next thing is he's extremely efficient. He's going to flirt with 50, 40, 90s basically every season. The next thing, has unlimited range.
Yeah.
Unlimited range. And by the way, that's off the catch, that's off the dribble, that's off screens, that's in the full court game, that's in the half court game. Also, usually the guy that's the best shooter doesn't have the crazy handle. Like Ray Allen, terrific shooter, picture perfect. Reggie Miller, my big brother, clutch. Larry Bird, 6'10", but they never were in the conversation of best ball handlers in the league. And lastly, he's a great finisher at the hoop. Sometimes when somebody shoots at unlimited range, they're not finishing at the hoop. He goes left, he goes right, he jumps off both feet. He's a spectacular performer. He and Kyrie Irving remind me of my childhood, Woj, because I always said, what would a Harlem Globetrotter look like if they played in the NBA? There's Curly Neal.
Absolutely, and you talk about teams right now that look at that play-in game in the tournament and possibly having to play the Warriors in the play-in. He's the one that scares them. The idea of getting into a scenario where losing just 2 games in a row, Steph's ability to come in and shoot somebody out of the playoffs. You talk to teams who are up in the playoffs, they don't worry about teams in that echelon. They worry about Steph Curry and Golden State knocking them out in that very short window of a play-in tournament.
Yeah, we've been talking about the West all day here, and the play-in tournament would involve 7 through 10. So you're taking a look here, and you've got anywhere from the Mavericks don't want to have to deal with Steph Curry when he's shooting 55% or 47% from 3, and also being able to not be ball dominant. He's and his teammates involved, but it's a situation that the Warriors find themselves in, and if you were an opponent, you don't want to face that.
You do not want to face that, Maria. And think about this: when you show those standings, fan bases of the Pelicans and the Grizzlies and the teams in the lower, even in the East, look at the Bulls, look at the Knicks. They're enthusiastic about the opportunity to be a part of this play-in. That means it's a good idea. We're not just talking about the top 2 or 3 teams. We're not just talking about only the MVP candidates. Now we're talking about 22 to 24 teams with interest. Well, it eliminates a lot of the tanking.
Yeah, and that's what makes the play-in tournament so exciting, is that this possibility that we're going to have teams or guys like Steph Curry even playing in it. But that's this season. Let's talk about the future for the Warriors and the way that they could evolve this offseason. How do you take advantage of a 33-year-old Steph Curry who's playing the way that he is moving forward?
And that's the question Golden State knows it has to ask themselves in this offseason. Do we want to bring in another star-level player potentially who is, in his late 20s, early 30s to match up age-wise with Steph Curry, Klay Thompson, Draymond Green? They've got James Wiseman, who's now out for the season with that wrist injury, the number 2 pick in this year. And I think they have the most valuable trade asset in all of the NBA. They have Minnesota's first-round pick in 2021. It's protected up till number 3. If it doesn't convey this year, then it's unprotected next year. That in a trade, if potentially a Bradley Beal becomes available, if you're Golden State, they've got to decide, do we want to bring in some really star-level young players who may not be ready to help us win a title now, or do we want to cash in those chips and try to help Steph Curry win another championship before he's out of his prime?
You cashing in? What are you?
I'm cashing in.
Taking it all?
I just seen Steph reinvent himself. He heard all of the talk when they were a super team with KD, and then he lost his splash brother, and then they went to the lottery and got the number 2 pick. And he like, wait a minute, people ain't saying I'm one of the top players in the league? Look at Tom Brady in football. If I'm the Golden State Warriors, his style of play, Steph Curry, unlimited range, he could do that forever. LeBron James is a physical specimen still playing later into his 30s. Steph Curry should be able to do the same thing.
Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming sports and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.